Welcome back to the Quo-Cast. I'm joined right now by Jonny from the band Quo-No UK. Thank you once again. I think this is the third time that you've dropped in with us. How is the band going?
Well, it's a much slower pace, shall we say, these days. A couple of reasons, but we sort of generally have slowed it right down as such. Still, when we get out and do it, it's really good fun. We've had a couple of gigs here and there. For whatever reason, this year I've had to turn down quite a few this year, but 'cause we just could not do them, which is a bit of a shame. And endemic in that is the fact that you've got other things to do, like we were saying a bit earlier on. There's other things, but yeah, we've managed to get a couple of shows together. We've just done the Irthlingborough Quo Day, which was really good. Actually, I was quite surprised how good it actually did end up. It was really good actually, but we'd lost our Mark because he'd gone for his 60th birthday and he'd gone to Berlin. So we managed to draft in Paul Redding from Coincidence. And he came and helped us, and it was all very good. And we had a couple of quick rehearsals, and then did the show on the Saturday, which was really good. It's really good fun, really. It's just I do it for the fun these days, nothing else. That's the best way I can put it.
Had you been to that event before? Perhaps seeing
No,
other
no,
bands? No?
no. I haven't. I saw the first one advertised. And I thought, oh, that wouldn't be bad. Um, Obviously, because with all the major conventions that all stopped, you were sort of searching as to thinking what was going to happen next. I think the general impression from our end was that not a lot was going to happen, and then there was the Wolverhampton one and the Irthlingborough one. We did a little show down this neck of the woods. We had Matt Stockgate come down, Chris Ferniho, Paul, Alan Beer, who plays in and around everything. And they're all very good players, and we sort of managed to attract a big crowd, people who just wanted to get something done because there was nothing on the horizon. From that, I believe now this is a regular thing now with the Irthlingborough, and I think the Robin in Wolverhampton will be quite regular as well. I was going to go to that last year as well, or this year, and unfortunately, our ex-drummer's daughter was leaving for Australia and asked us if we would do a small gig. So we ended up doing that instead.
I see. Well, the Quovention, as you say, will be on again in 2027.
Yep,
You'll hopefully plan to go to that.
yep, yes, I
How
do.
how easy is it for other kind of members to come in and sub in when someone's not available?
I think it's difficult, especially when, like in Paul's case, he's more the later Quo from sort of what was the album Back to Back onwards. I think Back to Back was the one that sort of inspired him to become a massive Quo fan. Whereas most of the stuff from me and Nigel and Mark, obviously, is back from the early '70s. So it is a different style. It's a different thing to do, and of course on this occasion we've had Matt Stockgate play bass for us. Once, maybe twice now. I can't remember now, but that was okay. But when you've got a guitarist coming in, we've always done things a little bit different. We've all sort of not said, "Oh, you do the Parfit bit forever and you do the Rossi bit forever." We just whoever comes up with a song says, "Oh, I've worked this one out. This is the bit I'll do." So somehow it ends up sounding fairly similar. But when somebody comes in who's only plays the Rossi bit or only plays the Parfit bit, it was difficult for me to actually try and switch my head over to just doing the Rick Parfitt stuff only. And my hand was killing me by the end of that because I used the guitar with a fence wire. That's a mistake, I think. Um, Absolutely killing me. But that's because I don't play enough anymore. I think that's probably what it is. And but yeah, got through it. It was a few rough moments, but yeah, quite laugh a bit here and there. All the usual technical faults that happen to a Quo-No gig, and I don't know quite why that happens to us a lot, but it seems to. And people will start thinking maybe those into it. But there you go.
Yeah, I feel like when I saw you at the fan club convention a few years ago, didn't you get cramp?
No, it wasn't me, but
Wasn't
I
you?
did get it
Right,
this time. That was
right.
Mark who he said it was cramp. But I think it was probably a little more than that, really. And
Yeah,
he wasn't too well, really. So, and also at the end of it, livid because it was, it was going to be the best gig he'd ever done, and it ended up getting spoiled for it somewhat by the fact that he got impaired. Something with his hand. I suppose you could call it a cramping of some form.
yeah,
When you can't hold any strings down, it's you know because we all rely on each other for little triggers and things to play off, and when somebody's missing, it suddenly becomes a bit difficult to work out where the hell you are. But there, that's so he. I think that sort of knocked his confidence massively. I think there, but we did a little gig in Bristol a few months back, and really went down well, and we actually played quite well that night, which was quite nice. I came away enjoying it, but then there was no sort of intensity to impress. I think we just went out and did it, and we had a great time. And they did sell Guinness.
What were the crowd like in Irthlingborough?
Oh, fantastic! It was all the usual suspects were there, and it was lovely to see a few of them again. The ones that I know, anyway. But I mean, I recognise a lot of faces because you see them on the Facebook, and they dot around everywhere, don't they? But yeah, some lovely to see little Lewis again, Lewis Cutts, he's got his little band there now with Aidan and the others, and that they're going from strength to strength. They're really, the uh, the youth shows in them. They've got some, real enthusiasm, and they go at it, and they're getting better and better every time I see a video of them. I will catch them one day. Um, and then you got your Glyn Balls and Vivs, who you seem to just to be there. I think his brother was playing in the Slade band, although they did a glam rock set as opposed to a Slade set. Yeah, and Paul Fairclough, the one who had his hair cut off last time, and he never changes. They're all good people. I love them. Neil Hill, he was there as well. Came to see the final Dog or Two Head show, I think, and they were great. It's nice to see Matt again, and nice to have a sit down and have a chat with Rick and Terry and Fasker. I've never really spoken a lot to Fasker. I didn't really, never ever got a chance. But he lovely chap, and the others were, it was all quite a good laugh. Backstage you chat about this and that, and things that you should never reveal. So it was, it was good. It was good stuff. I really enjoyed it, and the entertaining part with Matt Stopgate's dog running around the place trying to get out of the door all the time. It's worse than taking your kids. Anyway, but it was it was really entertaining. Really enjoyed the day. Really did. Lovely drive up. Weather was fantastic up there. Apparently, it was raining in Tiverton, so couldn't have been any better. It was really nice. Really enjoyed it. And Neil and his wife Sarah, they organised a great little thing going there, and I'm sure it'd just get bigger and bigger. He said that this year, the other day was more better attended than the others so far. So it's obviously going to grow, and I hope it does. I hope it keeps going because without these things, the bands will have nowhere to play to, will they? To a captive Quo audience. So it's really good. Yeah.
Indeed. Do you think the fact that perhaps because it's a one-day event that kind of rules in its favour?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, I mean, yes, they could sort of start at 10 o'clock in the morning and get loads of bands on. I don't know how that would actually go down in the end, and whether people would get bored of that. But the three bands, um, perhaps there was room for another one, I think. But it's only a small little stage, so getting gear on and off was always a bit of a mission. But it was I yeah, one day probably about right, I think. Yeah, because people can turn up and they get their hotel and then they bugger off for the next day and then go home and can talk all about it. Then it was really good. Of course, we managed to hit the most massive storm on the way back home. So that was Sunday. Never seen rain like it from about Bridgewater onwards, I think, going down. But yeah, it was a really good time. Really enjoyed it.
So you said at the beginning that you're sort of slowing down a bit. Does that mean that you're doing gigs sort of sparingly from now on?
I think possibly yes. Well, it depends. Depends what everybody feels like at the time. We had a little bit of a chat on the way home and thought, oh yeah, well, yeah, I'll tell you what we ought to do. Perhaps sort of ramp it up again and get some rehearsals in and try and sort of get it together a bit better and do that. Like 10 years ago when we were mad on it and going a lot. I think we were going the right direction, but I think it's just age, Jamie. Everybody says, "Oh, you're too old to rock or whatever," but it's hard work when when your hand starts giving out after an hour and a half. It's.
Is there anything that you found you've had to take out of the set?
We've found what we've done is because obviously less rehearsing together. Um, some bands they rehearse via the internet, don't they? None of us are clever enough to do that, so uh, we um, we found that if we saw well somebody's got a gig on, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, we're doing probably the most ordinary songs that we can probably muster together without doing those ones like we used to do, which was just what I was looking for today, and Lonely Man and stuff like that. And the little extra songs. But I mean, we used to a long time ago. We did Slow Train, but not as well as Dogger to Head do it, of course. But yes, we used to do that. Used to love it. Roadhouse Blues we used to do, and get a good old mouth organ solo going in it. But just tend to, because you need to know where you are on these songs. That it's easy to just say, oh, well, we'll just do that one. Just go back to Backwater, just take me, and is there a better way? Although never drop that one because I love it. But yeah, so that's probably the detriment of the set is that we don't just push the boat out a bit like we used to, I think. But we were saying in the van on the way back that we possibly might be a good idea if we sort of ramped it up again and see where we went from it. We're doing some of those sort of slightly left of centre songs again. We always say that, but we'll see what comes of it. We'll see.
Indeed. Who is the drummer for you now? Because I know you've had sort of a switch over a couple of times, haven't you?
Well, it's still young Tom, who's not so young anymore, and his hair's longer than the rest of us. That's only when we're not wearing ours, of course. But yeah, he's very good. He does lots of things. He plays in AC/DC bands, and he's a cover band, tribute band, Tart. I think that's what we call it. I think that's what Nigel called him. It's yeah, just he'll go and play, and to be fair, he's good enough to play most things as well. So very, very talented young man. But we had his father before that, obviously. So but,
Does he dictate the speed of everything, or
yeah, we do try to slow him down. It's it's very hard to keep going at those sort of paces. I used to scoff at when Rossi used to say, "Oh, oh, you can't play it that quick anymore. And he blamed it on their use of certain substances, but you don't have to have substances to slow down. It's definitely just a thing that happens to you. It's, arms don't move as quick. Simple, really. But yes, he does keep us going, I must admit. It's doing Just Take Me. I mean, I sort of catching my breath as we're going along. Never used to give it a thought, but he's quite a tidy drummer, and he can dictate a fair pace, shall we say, politely.
Keeps you on your toes, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's if I could stand on my toes. Yes.
Have you got any gigs coming up in the latter part of 25, or are you kind of taking it easy?
Not as such. No, we got one of the. What would you have? No, I don't think there's anything there this year. We got something in the turn next year when I come back from snowboarding. So yeah, I think March or May, I think it is. We're doing one in Bristol again, and I think we're doing a little festival next summer in Chard, the Chard Rock, which is a really great festival. That's another little growing festival. So we're doing that one as well. With whoever will be playing in it at that time will be playing in it. So I can't tell you if we'll all the same lineup will be there, but there you go. It's down there to play. So, but nothing for the rest of this year. I don't think. No, I haven't really booked anything in.
Well, that's fair. We were talking about Irthlingborough earlier, and I have to watch how I say it because I did an entire take talking about it, and I called it Irthlingborough because I didn't see the TH, and I had to overdub myself. And luckily, it's a similar sort of sound. But Irthlingborough, Rock to You Drop Day, if you could kind of advertise it to someone who's unsure, like what would you say to encourage them to go if they're a Quo fan?
Oh, what would I say? It's a fantastic celebration of status quo music. Really, there's no more to say. Really, it is a fantastic day. Always a man of few words, me. He lied.
Quo-No UK are available on Facebook and social media. Thank you once again, Jonny, for being a guest on the podcast.
Lovely to speak to you, Jamie. Always. I was hoping you were going to be there at Irthlingborough. I thought you might have been there, but
maybe next time.
Yes, maybe next time. I'll catch you then.